So while you're having these conversations, it's really important to be able to articulate your value proposition, as well as your vision, mission, and values. I like to call these the organizational compass, and that's because I feel that they serve two purposes. The first is internal. It's a compass for you and your team and your organization to know where you're going and where you're trying to get to, even if it's still not clear how you're going to get there. And the second reason is to help you share your ideas in a very compelling and logical way to others. So the value proposition is an explanation of your offering. So a formula I like to use for the value proposition was put out there by Steve Blank, who's an entrepreneur, and he suggested using this formula. We help X do Y by doing Z. So for example, going back to hippocampus, the case study from last module, we help children perform well in school by providing high-quality, low-cost preschool services in local neighborhoods. So that really tells people who your customer is, what problem you're solving for them. It explains your idea. And it's really similar to your theory of change. Remember in the last module we said you can summarize your theory of change in an if-then sentence, right? Like, if I do this, then that change will happen. But this is like a more customer-centric, go-to-market type way of capturing your idea. So I want you to be clear on how to articulate your value proposition when you're talking to people. And then frame it with your vision, mission, and values. So your vision is why you're doing this. Describe the world that you see that doesn't exist today, that could exist, or that you could be one step closer to if you're able to implement your idea and your value proposition. Usually the vision is really aspirational, right? Like a world in which all children can fulfill their love of learning. So the vision is the why. The mission is the what. It's like, okay, a lot of people have this vision. What mission have you taken upon yourself in order to reach that vision? What's your contribution? So it's your what, like what do you do? And you don't have to get into the details of how. The mission statement is usually, pretty short and concise. Like our mission is to provide high quality preschool to students. Then the values is how you're going to do it and what culture you're going to have in your organization. And it really defines when you're making decisions related to your vision and mission, what your values are that you're going to stick to. And so it's going to influence who ends up working with you, how you end up working together as a team. So that's what I mean when I say that the vision, mission, values, and value proposition are your organizational compass. So let's go through some more examples. A couple of modules ago, we had a case study about health leads. So if you look on their website, you'll see that their vision is health, dignity, and well-being for every person in every community. So that's pretty aspirational, right? It drives the organization's work while being something much bigger than the organization itself. That's your vision, your why. Their mission is more tangible. We partner with communities and health systems to address systemic causes of inequity and disease. So that's their pathway to reach that vision. And note that they don't have to say all the details of how they do it. So short is good. Health Lead's values are 4 values. The first is shared leadership. The second is justice through equity and inclusion. The third is empathy and genuine relationships. And the fourth is constant and courageous learning. So these are the values that their team embodies in their work, internally and externally. It's the values they're going to stick to while implementing their mission. Imagine working there. I would work in any organization that has those values. So now it's time for you to ask yourself, what values do you want to stick to in your organization, and how you want to implement your work, and what you want to hold your team and other stakeholders, partners, collaborators accountable to. So it's really going to help define your organizational culture, ethos, and vibe. So the vision, mission, values, and value proposition are really important to frame your idea, provide that internal compass to help guide you, and that external way to articulate what it is you're trying to achieve. And this way, people can help you. Next, we're going to talk about how to flesh out the details of your idea, the nuts and bolts of how it all works.